Welcome back to Liberty Nation's 2020 Election Roundtable. This is Scott DeCasenza, Legal Affairs Editor, and I'm joined today by Graham J. Noble, our National Political Correspondent, Joe Schaefer, our National Correspondent, and Andrew Moran, our Economics Correspondent. Gentlemen, thank you and welcome to the Roundtable. This was a busy week and a consequential week, perhaps, for the Democrat candidates because it was announced on Friday that the slates of the two separate debates, the field of candidates stretches closer to 30 than it does to 20, I think, at this point, and they had to break it up into two tranches, if you will. With such a large field of candidates, though, it's difficult to see how each one is going to make an impact other than through short, sharp sound bites. So let's start with Joe. You recently wrote an article on this for LibertyNation.com. What do you think will be the main messages coming out of the debates?
Yeah, these things, it's sort of like a football game, the pregame show where you can overanalyze it. I think the important thing for each of the candidates is to give a reason why their campaign matters when there's 23, 24 other candidates going. Elizabeth Warren is not with Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. I think that's good for her. She can just present herself as this serious candidate, and she's surrounded by a lesser cast.
Let me just stop you right there, Joe, and just explain for people who don't know. The two slates that were divided, it seems like it's sort of a JV team followed by a varsity team. The second night of debates has all the front runners in it, with Biden and Bernie at the top. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Right, Kamala Harris and even Buttigieg, who's been getting a lot of attention, is in the second night. They tried not to do that, but yes, that's what they've done. I would say, again, you don't want to get caught up in doing the pandering to progressive social issue talking points. You want to present an argument to the American people that you're running on legitimate issues. I think that there is a danger here more on the second night that some of these candidates are going to see Bernie and Biden as a target, which I don't think is a wise move at this point. You want to introduce yourself to the American people more. So that's why I think Elizabeth Warren's in a great spot. Whoever she's with on that first night is not going to cast a shadow on her at all. Amy Klobuchar does not have a higher standing than her, so that's a good spot for her. The other candidates, don't get caught up in attacking people. Tell people who you are.
Okay, Graham, do you think that the candidates, maybe in a desperate attempt to make headlines or boost their chances, are they going to lay out a more extreme policy than they perhaps otherwise would in order to stand out from the pack?
No, not really, Scott. I don't believe so. In this first debate, or if you like, this first debate, which is split into two episodes, I think all of the candidates are likely to err on the side of caution. I think at this stage, it's basically whoever makes some kind of crazy mistake first is going to be on the chopping block, personally. So I think each of these candidates in this opening debate or opening two-part debate are going to do nothing more than attempt to differentiate between themselves and their competitors by talking about their own personal records, their own personal experience, when appropriate, maybe their voting records, stuff like that. I think this debate is very much going to be about kind of biographical notes, autobiographical notes, if you like, rather than really getting into the weeds of policy. Okay,
Andrew. Politics in America changed fundamentally, I think, after the JFK-Nixon debates. They say that people who heard the debate thought that Nixon had won, and people who watched the debate thought that JFK had won. Does the televised debate add to the process, or is it just a distraction from other campaigning? What do you think about that?
Well, I think in every other election year, the televised debates are pretty important and entertaining. You can get somebody out of nowhere and they could just ascend to the top with, a great performance. You saw this Ben Carson in 2016. You saw this with Ron Paul in 2008. He started he relaunched the libertarian movement. But when it comes to this debate, I mean, all you're going to see are candidates try to outdo each other with free stuff. You're going to see, after the debate, someone's going to splice together a meme and count how many times someone said free. So I don't think it's going to add to anything. Nixon and JFK, they actually had a substantive debate about the issues. This one just going to see who's gonna have more free abortions, who's going to have more free money, who's going to have more free healthcare. Someone's going to say we spend $10 trillion on climate change stuff. Someone's going to say, you know what? How about $11 trillion? So it's just going to, you're just going to add up the dollars and cents, and nothing's going to contribute to other than I hate Trump and I'm going to give you free money. That's it.
Andrew, I'll take the liberty of. You are our economics correspondent. You are a libertarian. Is there a Democrat in the field that you expect to not run in that direction, to withhold on the giveaways? Is there a more libertarianish in terms of the spending side anyway in that field?
No, I don't.
Fair enough.
Nobody. I mean, Andrew Yang, he says that he wants to give free money, but couple that with putting a tax on financial transactions, he wants to have a VAT tax. Bernie says he wants to spend $1 trillion here, but then he wants to add a financial transaction tax. So they are talking about how to pay for it. It's just the fact that they're spending more than they'll ever be able to pay for it. So I don't think anybody's going to be fiscally conservative or cautious about their plans. Maybe John Hickenlooper, but that's not much because he's polling at 0.5%.
Right. Okay. I'll say that I do think that the debates are endlessly entertaining. I am that political junkie. I do watch, but I don't necessarily think it adds to the quality of the governance of the republic. Being able to be good in a debate. Does that mean, I see Graham, you shaking your head. Please, what do you think, Graham? Should we do away with it? Does it actually help determine who's a good leader?
I think it's good for entertainment value. It's good to raise the awareness of people that there is actually an election campaign taking place. But ultimately, Scott, I agree with you that it does not contribute at all to the good governance of the republic. Okay,
well, we had the last time the Democrats gathered together to debate to see who they would pick to be president. There were some shenanigans involved. Some debate questions got to Hillary in advance of the contest. Is there another, let's not say necessarily felonious activity going on, but is the division of candidates set to weight one over another in favor of whoever the favorites are at the DNC? Anybody want to join in on that?
I think that there's no shenanigans yet. The shenanigans are yet to come. They've just got too many candidates, and I don't think any of the top tier candidates are really going to get hurt in this first debate. This first debate is more about the lesser candidates. Can anybody step up and make a move? Because otherwise they're going to be out quick. There's about 10 of these candidates who should be gone in a week or two if they don't make some kind of impression. And I don't think it matters if they're on the first night or the second night so much. The person who got hurt the most by far, in my opinion, is Kirsten Gillibrand, because she was supposed to be a top candidate and she hasn't been. She's been running an atrocious campaign, and now she's with the two big shade trees, which is Bernie and Biden, and I can just see her getting lost in the shuffle and her downward spiral continuing. Well, but other than that, no, I don't.
With Gillibrand, when you open your campaign hostile to 50% of the country's population, as she seems to be, as anti-male as they come. That's not a surprise.
If I may just add one thing, I think Kirsten Gillibrand is running a Gillibland campaign.
Thank you for that. Andrew Rennie's been sitting on that one for a while, and we're grateful to have it get out. Graham, do you have any you want to add to that?
No, not really. I don't think. I mean, if there's any kind of scheming behind the scenes going on about who is appearing in which half of the debate, which episode of the debate, if you like, I think possibly there may be some kind of strategy behind it in terms of the actual television ratings, the viewership, maybe, I don't know. But no, I don't believe that there's any actual kind of politically motivated shenanigans going on, certainly not at this stage.
All right, crystal ball time. There's going to be 2 debates. What happens as a result of them? I agree that we're going to lose a lot of candidates in the week or 2 following. There's just too many for the level of support and money out there for early presidential races. So What are we going to see? Any standouts? Anybody want to make any predictions?
I think
around the horn. Sorry for being a bad moderator. Let's go around the horn. Graham, you first, then Joe, then Andrew, and I'll finish up.
If I could think of one, I do actually believe that Senator Kamala Harris, her star will start to rise once we get into these debates, because I believe, not that I'm a personal fan of hers or her policies, but I believe that she is far better than most of the other candidates when it comes to actually speaking and debating and questioning and confronting issues. I think she's better than that the most.
The person who I think just has the best chance here to improve her standing is Tulsi Gabbard. She is a sort of an outside the box candidate by Democratic standards. She criticizes her own party for their Russia obsession, which threatened basically nuclear war with a major power, and the lean towards being pro-interventionism in the Democratic Party. This is an important issue. She has a chance to bring up an important issue in a fluff debate, which is what we are all afraid this is going to be. So if she can just do that, just present that issue, she can improve her standing, and she can walk away from this debate saying, hey, wow, Tulsi Gabbard brought up a great point there. Maybe there's more to her than we thought. So the person who I think has a chance to really improve herself, she's a long shot, is Tulsi Gabbard.
Last but never least, Andrew. Joe took my thunder, but I also was going to mention Tulsi Gabbard. The only issue with Tulsi Gabbard is her main campaign is on foreign policy. Now, if you look at all the polls, foreign policy isn't at the top of the list of Democratic voters. It's either you just vote out Trump or having a bunch of left progressive cause du jours. But if Tulsi Gabbard were to hone in on one issue, it could be Social Security, which she recently did in a speech. She was in California. She's at the some DNC event, and she's talking about how Social Security is going to be bankrupt. So if she were to home in on that when other Democrats are not, then she would have a better chance, in addition to her staunch anti-war positions.
Gentlemen, you are right. First of all, Graham, you're right. I think Warren is going to, or rather Harris does have the ability to really shine in comparison to the others in a debate. But gentlemen, Tulsi Gabbard is the right answer, I think, in terms of she can really take the ball and run with it, because for the first time she's going to have some attention paid to her. I think that's been her the demise of her campaign, or at least not the thriving of it. She hasn't been able to set herself apart. If she comes out and uses this opportunity to say, hey, I'm different from these people and here's why, but still a Democrat, she's going to get some campaign money and some support. All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. For Graham Noble, for Joe Schaefer, for Andrew Moran, this is Scott DeCasenza for LibertyNation.com. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching this LN 2020 Political Roundtable. Bye-bye.